So hello everyone, my name is Boglarka Nyul and I'm from Tel Aviv University where I'm a postdoctoral fellow in social psychology in Dr. Nurit Schnabel's lab. At the beginning of my talk, I would like to ask you to imagine a world where people are grouped based on their eye colors. So there are people with dark eye colors and there are people with bright eye colors. And in this world, people are grouped by this, and their intellectual abilities and career potential are perceived and expected from them based on their eye colors. You would say this is a bit weird or even bizarre, right? But actually, it's not far from what we have in reality with sex and gender. Sex is something that we are born with. Majority of people are either born as a boy or a girl. And of course, there are biological differences between boys and girls. But at this age, or especially when they are dressed in this age, they kind of look the same. And when our friends just had a newborn, and we go over to them and visit the baby, we compliment the baby. And the thing is that we compliment boys and girls differently. So for example, to boys, we say things like, look how he's chewing on that book. He's already so clever. Or we say things like, how he grabbed my finger. He's so strong already, just like his father. Or to girls, we say things like, her smile is just beautiful, or she seems to be so gentle, just a little flower. And if we take a step ahead, at the playground, we say stuff like, boys don't cry. And to girls in elementary school, we can say something like, you don't have to be necessarily good at math. So maybe we don't say these exact words, because these are really explicit or blatant examples that I give to you. But what I want to say is that we teach children how men and women are in society, how they should and how they shouldn't be. So as we say in my field, is that we describe how they are, we prescribe how they should be, and we prescribe how they shouldn't be in their behaviors, traits, and what rules are applied for men and women. So basically, as you saw in my picture, we take gender, we take sex, and we color it with gender. And these messages that we send has consequences. For example, there are less women in Brilliance-related fields. If you take a look at this graph, this is about women in academia. The higher you go in positions in academia, the fewer the women are. Or it's true also for fields. For example, in STEM fields, there are much less women than men. If you look at this graph about physics in the European Union, you can see that only 19% of bachelor and PhD students in physics are women. And here comes a vicious cycle. If we see fewer women there, fewer women will apply. Because if we see fewer women there, it's already kind of a description or prescription, kind of a rule that is not a place for them. So what we did with our research group was that we explored how these descriptions, the shoulds and the shouldn'ts that we learn based on our gender, and what we think about brilliance, affect women's career path and career choices. What we proposed was that maybe we imagine a brilliant person closer to how we imagine a man, and farther away how we imagine a woman. So to put it differently, maybe we describe or prescribe a brilliant person with more masculine traits than with feminine traits. Therefore, basically there will be kind of a deviation from the gender role for women if they are brilliant. So what we did was that we examined this question with 3 experimental online studies, and we gave a survey to participants online, and we gave them traits, masculine and feminine traits, such as authoritative or feminine, like fashion conscious and caring, which are really important stuff. And we asked them in the first studies that how much do the following traits describe this person, and in the second one we asked that how much the person should have the following traits. And actually what we found in line with our hypothesis was that brilliance is often associated and prescribed with masculine traits, indicating indeed a deviation from gender norms for brilliant women. Okay, this is what we found, but you can ask, why is this important? On one hand, it's important because if we don't feel that's a field for us, that other people are really dissimilar from us there, we won't go there. But on the other hand, if we violate our gender roles, we very often get social punishments. Not only women, also men, but in different domains. And these social punishments kind of affect our career advancement, because research shows if we violate them, we are hired less, we are sabotaged more, and we are liked less. So in the second set of studies, our question was that, do brilliant women face more social punishments than brilliant men? We examined this question with 2 experimental studies. We gave a description of either a brilliant man or a brilliant woman, or in the next study, also added an average intelligent man or an average intelligent woman. And we asked people that answer question about how much they like them and how much they would like to work with them. And what we found was that brilliant women are indeed liked less, and they are less likely to be chosen to work with than brilliant men. And in the second study, we found that brilliant, both men and women, are more likely to be chosen to work with, which is kind of realistic because there are advantages working with a brilliant person. But if we go to the social domain, we will see that brilliant people are less liked than average intelligent people. So to sum up, what we found across these studies was that being brilliant is indeed a gender deviation for women. We also found that brilliance suffers social punishments, but it seems from our results that maybe brilliant women suffer even harsher social punishments than brilliant men. So here, at the end of my presentation, I would like to reflect to a statement from Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was the second woman in the Supreme Court of Justice in the United States. There are 9 members of the Supreme Court of Justice in the US, and when Ginsburg was asked that when there will be enough women in the Supreme Court, she answered that when there are 9. Out of 9, as a reminder. And someone could say that's outrageous. How could she say something like that, right? But actually, her point was not that the Supreme Court should be exclusively female. Her point was that we have to challenge the bias that we accept all male or predominantly male environments as the norm, as the rule. And this comes back to our topic perfectly. So it indicates that we have to rethink how we think about brilliance in academia and in other professional spheres. And if we can do that, if we can shift these deep-seated beliefs, then maybe one day a woman's brilliance in any field will be as unremarkable as her right to be there. Thank you, and this is the research team that we did the research with. Thank you for your attention.